He abandoned his wife after giving birth to white baby 4 years later. DNA test revealed unthinkable. Jack and Angela grew fond of each other at a random party held by a mutual friend. They instantly hit off. It never felt like it was their first meet. They danced, sang, and drank throughout the night under the moonlit sky. The ethnicity difference they had. He, a brown man, and she, a black beauty. It never made any difference. Their dates became more frequent. Hugs and kisses became their daily part of routine. Taking on vacations and coffee dates soon turned into a living relationship. Who knew they would grow this closer in just a few months of meeting? Maybe it was their fate. Their whispered love bloomed into a proud relationship, meeting each other's family, joining in for dinners. With every growing step, their relationship took a big leap, 3 years to their togetherness. Jack got on his knee. He proposed to her on a beautiful sunset. They were happier than ever. Trinity Church's altar held a small but beautiful wedding ceremony. Jack and Angela vowed, "I do," with all their heart pouring out. However, the two lovebirds were never ready for what was about to happen next. This completely changed their life. 2 years after their marriage, Angela found out she was pregnant. When Jack heard of this news, his happiness was over the roof. Both of their eyes glistened with tears of joy. Young and gay couple was now about to be a family of 3. Every day, their dream became one step away from coming true. Planning on for gender reveal, designing crib in his or her name. Weeks passed by, and the day had finally arrived. Angela laid weak but strong on a stretcher. Her heart beat faster than any drums. All Jack could do was pray for both their safety. But the moment a sharp cry ringed his ear, he turned around and was in a moment of disbelief. How could that be possible? He was a brown man, and Angela black. But baby white? All the emotions mixed. He didn't even hold the baby. His mind filled with thoughts. She must have cheated on me. Angela was just regaining consciousness. She wanted to hold her baby. But the moment she saw a white figure wrapped in a thin cotton, she was stunned. He didn't even care to kiss her forehead or thank her. Instead, he started accusing her of cheating. Angela, still in denial, tried to explain to him. She had not even looked at other men ever since. The only one she ever loved now doubted her dignity. It really shattered her. Jack walked out of that door and didn't come back. Angela was completely devastated. The time she really needed him was the very moment he abandoned her. Now all the responsibility fell on her. But she was determined to give this baby boy the life he deserved. This baby came out of her womb. She loved her to death. She named him Nova. Life was never easy for her, but she never gave up. She took night shifts, took out all the savings, hired caretakers, and prepared scheduled meals for Nova. For 4 years, Angela raised Nova alone. She never missed his appointments, his Elmo classes and weekends at ice cream stores or amusement parks. She did all that on her own, but she never lost hope. A small leap of faith always lingered in her that one day Jack would come back, no matter the amount of love for her baby or her trust in herself. She finally decided to take a DNA test. The confidence in her stride to the clinic talked louder than any words. Soon, the result came. But the DNA test revealed Jack was not the biological father of their baby. Angela stood frozen, staring at the results in disbelief. How could this be? She had never been unfaithful to Jack, not once. This made no sense. Frantically, she rushed back to the clinic. "There has to be a mistake," she insisted. "Please run the test again." But the answer came back the same. Her heart shattered. She adored her baby more than anything, but the truth made no sense. Why was he white? Who was his real father? And worst of all, how could she ever explain this to Jack? The weight of it crushed her. She had no answers, only a love for her child and a terrible fear that the man she loved would never believe her. Angela knew she couldn't keep the truth from Jack any longer. With trembling hands, she dialed his number in very long time. "We need to talk," she said softly. "Please meet me at the park." When Jack arrived, his breath caught in his throat. There was Angela and their son, now a little boy running through the grass. His heart ached seeing how much he'd missed. Angela steadied herself. "Jack," she began, voice shaking, "the DNA test, it says you're not his father." Tears welled in her eyes. "But I swear to you, I never cheated. I don't understand how this happened." Jack's face went pale. His hands trembled as he took the test results. The words on the page blurred before his eyes. This couldn't be real. Angela reached for him, tears streaming down her face. "Please," she whispered, "I love you. I've always loved you. Come home to us." Her voice broke as years of loneliness poured out in those simple words. Jack stood frozen, the paper crumpling in his fist. Everything he thought he knew was wrong. The woman he'd walked away from had been telling the truth all along. Angela knew Jack needed time. She didn't push him, didn't call, just waited with a hopeful heart. Every day that passed without a word made her stomach twist tighter. Had she lost him for good? Then, after what felt like forever, her phone rang. Jack's voice, hesitant but warm. "Can we talk over dinner?" Angela's hands shook as she got ready. What if he was saying goodbye for good? But when she saw him, she knew. Before he even spoke, she saw the love in his eyes. "I was wrong," Jack said, reaching for her hands. "I've spent every day missing you, missing our family." His voice cracked. "Can you ever forgive me?" Angela didn't need to think. Tears of joy spilled down her cheeks as she pulled him into a hug so tight it said everything words couldn't. They were going to be okay. Better than okay. They were going to be a family again. That night, for the first time in years, Angela fell asleep with a full heart, her husband's arms around her, their son sleeping peacefully down the hall. The family of three started their life again. They moved on like nothing ever happened. With all the love and grace, they raised their son like any other parents do. Years went by. Nova, as mischievous as ever, grew to be a very healthy child. He never knew the dark past that lurked deep beneath. All it mattered to him was his parents loved him and looked happier than ever. The day finally came when Angela knew it was time. She sat their 13-year-old son down, her heart pounding. "Sweetheart," she began gently, "there's something important we need to tell you about how you came to be our son." As she explained about the DNA test and Jack not being his biological father, she watched his face carefully. There was surprise, confusion, but then something beautiful happened. Their boy simply shrugged and threw his arms around them both. "Who cares about some tests?" he said, squeezing them tight. "You're my mom and dad. That's all that matters to me." Angela and Jack exchanged tearful smiles over his head. All their worries melted away at that moment. Their son understood what real family meant. It wasn't about blood, but about love. As the years passed, their family bond only grew stronger. Through good times and hard times, Angela and Jack stood together. Their love had survived every storm, and now they watched with pride as the boy they'd raised became an extraordinary young man. Every night before bed, Angela would whisper a quiet thank you for second chances, for unconditional love, and for the beautiful family they'd built against all odds. The day came when Angela closed her eyes for the last time, her face peaceful in sleep. Jack's heart shattered, but through his tears he could almost hear her whispering, "I'll always be with you." Months later, a question still haunted Jack. Who was his son's real father? He had to know. At the clinic, his hands shook as he submitted the DNA sample. When the results arrived, Jack's knees nearly gave way. The paper in his hands held an impossible truth. He was the biological father after all. All those years of doubt, all the pain he'd caused Angela, it had all been for nothing. Tears streamed down his weathered face as the weight of his mistake crushed him. He'd abandoned the woman who'd never lied to him. He'd missed precious years with his own child because of his stubborn pride. But as sunlight streamed through the window, Jack felt a sudden warmth, like Angela's arms wrapping around him. She'd forgiven him long ago. Now it was time to forgive himself. Clutching the test results to his chest, Jack made a silent promise. He would spend every remaining day being the man Angela always believed him to be. Jack handed his son the wrinkled test results. The room went still as the young man read the words. His eyes widened. "But how?" The first test said. Jack pulled him into a bear hug before he could finish. "Listen to me," he said, voice thick with emotion. "Papers get it wrong sometimes, but my heart, that never doubted you were mine, not for a second." From that day on, they were glued together. They'd sit on the porch sharing Angela's stories, her terrible singing in the shower, the way she burned pancakes every Sunday, how she'd light up a room just by walking in. Keeping her memory alive became their quiet mission. And Jack? He started spending Tuesdays down at the Hope Shelter, You'd find him rocking crying babies so tired moms could eat, or packing lunches with extra sandwiches. Every time he helped, he'd look up and whisper, "This one's for you, Angela." He just knew she was smiling down on him. What do you think of today's story? Was it okay for Jack to walk away? Was Angela wrong to forgive him? Let us know your thoughts in the comment. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales like this. Until then, stay blessed